Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we need to talk. I'm going to bring out the most balanced ship in World of Warships Legends and we're going to just let this thing do what it does, which is just absolutely dominate the match from start to finish, despite going up against the things that are perfectly built to counter it. It's going to be a great game. Going to be a great game. But we need to talk. So I have some video clips from tonight that I think would go perfect for a failure compilation. You know, it's one of those things where you log in, you have big ideas for what you want to do for the day, and then everything in its power goes incredibly wrong. And that leaves you wanting to do nothing more than jumping in the most broken ship that you know and go out and ruin other people's gameplay experience like yours was. And this is kind of the basis for, this video. Because, I'll be honest, I have not been embarrassed as hard as I was tonight, off stream. Like, on stream, I get countered. It's, it happens. It's to be expected when you're streaming. But off stream, generally speaking, the matches are a little bit more balanced and I have a little bit better time moving around without having to worry about being countered completely every time I move. That was not the case tonight. Tonight was one of those nights that just makes you want to uninstall the game. As a solo player, this game represents the worst gaming experience I have ever had as a solo player in any multiplayer game that I've ever played. And it comes down to just the overwhelming toxicity that this game throws at you. Look, immediately a radar Des Moines rushes in. I bonk my nose on the island. That's my fault. I start to back out. I knew he was coming into radar, so I'm in a position where I can get out. It's not that big a deal. He's gonna get a shot at me, but again, not that big a deal. He hits for a little bit of damage. We get away, no problem. He's not a big threat at this point. Like, we counted on it. And that's one of the things that I can promise you, that this game is so freaking predictable about who is going to spawn directly across from you, what you're going to be up against, no matter what ship you choose. And it is absolutely obnoxious. And then on top of that, you can call everything that happens, right? Like, you can call, okay, I'm behind an island. I'm going to go ahead and use this damage con, get rid of a single fire, because nobody's going to be able to shoot me. And out of the blue, torpedoes come from the destroyer that decided for the first 5 minutes of the match to go all the way around the outside of the map just to get a torpedo angle on you. Never spotted. Gets to drop torpedoes from wherever he wants. And it's just one of those things. Like, it never fails. Like, the worst possible thing that could happen is going to happen. And there's an old saying from Mythbusters. If you guys remember Mythbusters, I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but Mythbusters was a great show. And one of their favorite saying was, failure is always an option. And I cannot agree with that anymore, especially after tonight. Like, it just, you cannot possibly agree with that any more than I do at this particular moment. Now, we managed to sneak in, get a little bit of bonus XP for helping capture that base after we had to disappear from that Des Moines. Paolo Emilio is going to go out after the battleship. I decide to go mid and start to help try to take on the main. And the problem here is that as soon as I go to torp this main, look at him. He's perfectly content to sail in a straight line. So I'm like, okay, well, for once I will stack my torpedoes. I know this is a terrible idea. I know you don't stack your torpedoes, but as soon as I launch my torpedoes at this man, everybody starts shooting him. Everybody. There's another battleship out there broadside on, but they all choose to shoot the one guy that I have torpedoes sent at. And what does that make him do? It makes him slow down and turn in, and now I'm going to miss my torpedoes. I know what you're thinking. Well, Spartan, the game is young. There's plenty of targets. You're going to get damage eventually. You're right. I am. But as teammates, I feel like we need to start paying attention to what our teammates are doing. You know what I'm saying? Now you could say, well, Spartan, that's partly on you. You shouldn't have stacked your torpedoes. But the other part of it is, if you see torpedoes heading towards a target, maybe don't shoot at that guy. Let him continue on his way. And this goes for me as a Battleship player too. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen me do it on stream or not, but I will literally go, okay, this guy's got torpedoes headed for him. I'm going to shoot at this guy over here and wait until, you know, and the whole reason is torpedoes are going to remove you faster than guns usually, right? So if we manage to get the torpedoes to hit, then that is a huge swing of damage. Even if it's just one torpedo that hits. But if you shoot at somebody, they're going to change what they're doing. They're going to slow down, they're going to turn in, they're going to turn out. Whatever they do is likely to make those torpedoes miss. Now here you can see I'm already anticipating the Des Moines pushing towards us. They've killed all the battleships on this side. Our cruiser is running away, and that leaves a Yami, a Republique, and a Des Moines pushing in. Now Des Moines is coming straight towards me. I'm about to get my torpedoes back, and rather than launching immediately on the white line here, we're going to give one at the white line on the right, then we're going to back off, try to give a little bit to the left, and then we're going to focus the Yami and try to, you know, assume what we know where he's going as well. And so the goal here is to spread the love out and try to get both of these guys to damage con, because if they damage con, then our team has a much higher chance of burning these guys down. Now, every torpedo that hits, not only is it a nuclear bomb, but it also almost guaranteed causes a flood. Which means any torpedo that hits is a guaranteed damage con, which if you're paying attention, means that you can have a chance to get some permafires. Now right there, we get a very nice hit on the Des Moines, who gets a little bit of torp production, but 19,000 damage sucks. Like, that's half his health gone. And then the Yami doesn't get the same benefit of the doubt. He gets full damage right on the bow. He also takes a flood. 2 torps, 2 floods. Because every torpedo causes a flood. Or at least you should assume that every torpedo is going to cause a flood. Now, our Worcester is going to run away, and I don't have a problem with that. And in fact, I'm going to try to help him out. I'm actually going to try to allow him to disappear by dropping smokescreen in front of this island. I know he's running to try to get behind the island. I drop one in front of the Des Moines and the Yami, and I'm going to try to cut over in front of the enemy Republique so that he breaks contact with whoever's spotting him. Now, at the time, I wasn't aware, even though I do have Twitch and track on, I wasn't aware that there's an enemy Shima right here. So, me dropping the smokescreen actually doesn't do anything initially. It may help him once he gets around the other side of the island, but for now, it doesn't actually help him. Now, we get spotted here by the enemy Shima. This is where having concealment comes in real handy. I was gonna fire the guns here, but I decided not to, because if I fire my guns, Republique keeps me spotted, and I get shot by Des Moines, Yami, and Republique, plus the Shima. Not a good idea. So we hold our fire, we double back, and we start looking at potentially dropping torps. Now, I launch 1 at the Yami, I launch 2 at the Republique here. Now, this is actually not what I should have done. I should have launched 1 at the Yami, 1 at the Republique, and 1 at the Shima's smokescreen. I should have launched 1 at the Shima smoke, but I didn't think about that until I launched it. I was like, you can see, I immediately look back at the smoke. I'm like, should have threw that last set into the smoke screen. But, you know, sometimes you goof up. It is what it is. Now, up to this point, we really haven't been that effective, and the game's very, very close, meaning that anything that happens from this point forward could swing the match in either direction. Now, the good news is our Paolo Emilio and our cruiser are holding the Bravo cap. Their team is doing a pretty good job of holding their 2 caps, so we're in a position where we have... Oh, hello, Mr. Republique. There's 1 and a flood, and... Oh my god, we leave him alive. Finish him! Come on, boys, finish him, and wait for it. We get another torpedo hit on the enemy Yami. So we managed to land 3 torps there, and that's a lot of damage. I know, right? But, the bad news is, I thought that the Republique was dead here, and he finally does go down, fortunately. But we're going to go ahead, swing in here, and try to engage the Shima. I know, more often than not, that I'm going to outplay an enemy Shima when it comes to a gunfight. Most of the time, Shimas do not want to fire their guns. They don't try to, they just try to run away. And so, in true Shima fashion, we get 2 salvos away, and only take 1 in return. Now, he does get another shot around the corner here, which is unfortunate. But I go to turn out, and I realize that the Yami is still here. And Yami takes and gets the most accurate salvo of his life. Takes 2/3 of my health in 1 shot. Like, owie. right? You love to see it. I wish my Yami shot that well at destroyers all the time. But fortunately, we survived that, and now that means we gotta turn away. Now, Yami, you know, you poke around at a snake, and sometimes you're gonna get bitten. And he turns out, we go ahead and spread the love again. We're going to send out a true wall of skill at this man. And by the time these spread out, you're going to see the most ridiculous looking wall of skill from 2 racks of torpedoes you've ever seen. It is almost perfectly spaced out so that is one nice long group of torpedoes. Good luck, Sunshine. Now, the bad news is he actually turns towards us. I thought he was going to continue turning away, but he actually isn't an idiot. And he's like, this guy probably launched torpedoes before he went around the corner. And unfortunately for him, he still catches one. And that sets a permaflood in motion. And you hate to see it. As a Battleship main, you hate to see it. But at the end of the day, it's mine or him. And in this case, I'm the destroyer. I win that fight. Destroyers decide who wins and who loses. Good destroyer play will carry even the worst teams to victory. Bad destroyer play will tank even the best teams to a loss. It is absolutely imperative that as a destroyer, you use your brain, don't throw away your hit points, and keep yourself in the fight and continue to try to push strategic targets and grab bases where you can, especially in domination matches. The points were very, very close right up until we sank that Yamato, and now suddenly we have the points lead. Now, I request support from our Worcester. He's a little bit behind me. We do get the Shima spotted here. He's 5 kilometers out, so we're going to go ahead and start engaging. We know he's going to be likely to try to torp us, but we get a full salvo away, again showcasing that little bit of a advantage in concealment means so much as a destroyer. Like, it really does. Now, unfortunately, he also gets the support of a cruiser, and his cruiser is going to be a lot more accurate than my cruiser, unfortunately. But we turn out to try to make him miss some of his shots. We've done pretty good at this fight so far. Even losing 2/3 of our health to the enemy Yami, we're going to be able to do well against these guys. Now, unfortunately, as we slow down to get our torps out, you can see Shima gets a shot on us, and then the enemy Alaska or Worcester gets a shot on us to finish us off. But we got our torpedoes away, and if that Shima's dumb enough to sit in the smoke, he's going to eat these, and I don't think we need to argue about what's going to happen here. Y'all already know. He's eating the torpedoes. Down he goes. So let me know what you guys think. Have you guys ever had one of those nights where you're so incredibly beat down by the game that you just jump in the most broken destroyer you can and go out and make other people feel bad too? Let me know. Am I alone? 139,000 damage. Pretty much top of the leaderboard, I think. So let me know what you guys think, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.